This video demonstrates how to collect data into online GIS for DCR storm damage on the coast in the offline mode. At this point, we are in the Collector app, which we have launched from the home screen of our Android device. This is a mobile phone made by Samsung. We have launched the Collector app. We have signed in. To demonstrate again how to do this, I'm going to demonstrate how to sign out. I go over here, I switch account, and I remove this account. Once I've removed this account, I have been logged out. In order to log back in, I start with this home page, I go to continue, I enter my details. I'm going to pause the video while I do that. Once I have entered my DCR ID and password, I click on sign in. I am now signed in to my home page, which is all maps. In order to work offline, meaning if I want to work on this device, but in an area where I will not have good cell coverage, or if I do not want to use the data plan on my map, on my phone, then I have the ability to download the map that we worked on in the online mode and store it on my phone. All the edits I do then will be stored on this device, and I will get a chance to upload them into the cloud where the actual live data lives. I will download using a Wi-Fi or cell connection. I will then work in offline mode. Then when I'm done collecting my data, I will reconnect to Wi-Fi or cells, or use the cell network when the cell signal is good, and push all the edits back up into the cloud. So step one is to download the map, for which you click on the download button. The first thing you have to do is choose your work area, which means zoom in to the area that you're going to be in. This kind of workflow requires a little bit of pre-planning because you need to know where you go. This little window over here is just like a cookie cutter when you're making cookies. This is the cookie cutter, and the dough is the entire map behind you. Whatever area you zoom into that is enclosed in this box will be saved to your device. Exactly what will be saved to your device is this background image, which is the aerial photography, as well as the two data layers you see. The open space that's managed and owned by DCR, and the point data set, which is ready for you to enter points into. I can see a point that exists right now, but in the area that you're working, you may not actually see any points. It will still be saving the data set so that you can collect data into it. I'm going to zoom in to an area that I'm going to pretend that I will be covering today, right over here. I know I'm going to be walking from here to right over there where I know there is storm damage. If I think I'm going to be doing a larger area, I can zoom out and cover it all. Just remember that the larger the area that you cut out, the more storage space it consumes on your phone. Once I've chosen my work area, the next step is to choose map detail. So I click on choose map detail. This is going to show me how much detail it's going to store on my phone. That determines how far I'm going to be able to zoom in and still see details. So at this point, I'm going to zoom in fairly far. You notice that the farther I zoom in, the bigger that number gets. That tells you how much storage space it's going to use on your phone. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I think that is the right degree of detail. It doesn't matter where you are zoomed into the map. It just wants to know the amount of detail. At this point, if I want to revise the area that I want to download, I can switch back to the work area and say, I moved a little too far west. I need to move there. That's the area that I want to save on my phone. Go to map detail. That's set just right. Once I've set my work area and how much detail I want to look at this in, all I do is I click on download. That is the bar that shows progress. Depending on how good your internet speed is, this might take a while. It might even time out if you have very poor connection. If this times out, or if you get an error in download, I suggest finding a stronger Wi-Fi signal or a better cell signal and try again. I'm going to pause while this downloads. The map is completed downloading, and I know this because the bar is gone, and where it used to say download before, it now says sync. Now when I click on this map, it's important to know that I am no longer connected to the online map. One way that is very apparent to me is if I zoom out, notice that the only place that I can see the background imagery is within the little cookie cutter area. This was the work area I defined. It's saved a little bit more of the shape of the open space that was in the map, but this is pretty much my work area. I'm going to go ahead now and start collecting data. Everything about collecting data now is identical to the online method of data collection. I'm going to add a point. Just like before, I click on the plus sign. I get a choice of damage severity. Based on what I pick, it's going to automatically calculate the damage severity field to the value I picked. I had picked severe damage, so it automatically does that. I get the poor location accuracy because Collector is trying to use the inbuilt GPS in my phone to drop the point. I'm in a building where reception is poor, so I'm going to ignore this for now. If you are outside in the field and this happens, there are two choices left to you. One is to wait to get better reception. The second is you might really be in an area where there's poor GPS location. You can choose to drop your point using landmarks. I'm going to do that right now. So to locate the point on the map, I'm going to go from the field attribute view to the map view. This shows me the map. I'm going to look at some landmarks to figure out where I am. I know that I am right on this edge of the beach. I'm going to go in here, tap on the map where I want the point to be. The next thing I need to do is I need to fill out the attributes. So I click back to the attribute view. First, I want to fill out the damage type. I'm going to go back up to where it says seawall damage. I'm going to go to the notes and say test demo. I'm going to put in my observer name, and I'm going to calculate the date to current. The third thing I need to enter the data is to add an attachment photo. I'm going to go to camera. I'm going to take a picture of this background and pretend that this is what I'm actually seeing on the beach. I can say OK or retake the picture. I'm going to say OK. And there we have it. The three things that I need to record for the data. It's location, and if I need to move it at this point, I can tap anywhere on the map to move it. The second thing I want to record is the attributes, the damage type, the severity, notes, observer name, date. The third thing I needed to record was photographs to document it. Here it is. If I want to check on it, I can open it or I can delete it. I can do additional photos by clicking the plus button here and the paperclip. At this point, if I'm ready to push up these edits, if I'm done, I go ahead and click on the check button. At this point, when I hit the check button, it did not send the data that I just recorded, basically that point. It did not send it up into the cloud. Instead, it saved it to the data that's saved on my phone. Right now, when I saved the data, it got saved to the map instead of being sent up into the internet. Because I am not currently connected to the internet, I'm working in offline mode. If I hit the back arrow now and go back to my home page, I see that this map, which remember is a downloaded map. It says downloaded right there. It is not connected to the internet. This little value that says sync, previously it was blank. Right now, there's a little 1 in parentheses, which means there's one edit stored on the map in the device ready to be synced up. Once I connect to a strong Wi-Fi service or cell network, I can click on sync, and what that bar shows me, it is taking the data that is stored on my phone, any new data that I've added, and it is sending it up into the cloud. And when the data has actually updated and been moved from on the device up to the cloud, the sync word no longer has any parentheses around it. And the value over here, which previously said downloaded, now reads synced. This means all the data that was collected and stored on the phone currently reside in the live data in the cloud. Your option from here on is to move on to a different area of work. If you do that, you will need to download a map for the new area of work. If you click on this takes you back to the area that has already been downloaded. In order to download a new area of work, the next step is to go to the little ellipsis button here, go to Manage. That shows you the maps that are currently downloaded on this device. You need to remove the current one, since Collector can only look at one map at a time. You have an option of removing the features only. The features in this case will be the points and the green blobs, or you can remove the features and the base map. You should always remove the features and the base map, because that takes away the aerial photo and the data saved. If you back up now, you will notice that this no longer says synced or download. That means this map is ready for use as an online map. If you clicked on this card right now, it would take you to the online workflow. Anything you added would go directly into the online data. If you wanted to work offline at this point, you would have to click the download button and go through those steps of zooming into the area that you're going to work in. Previously in this exercise, we zoomed into this area at this end of the beach. I might now move on and download this next section. Choose my work area, choose my work detail, hit download, and I would be back to where this download, well, here, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to do it for this area. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the online. I'm going to download. I'm going to choose my work area. It's Cape Cod. Let's go over here. I'm going to choose the map detail and download. And we're back to downloading a new map for a new work area. So the important thing to remember is in the offline workflow, you are restricted to gathering data in the area that you have downloaded. If you choose to work online after you are done, you will need to sync the edits that you have collected, delete the map from the ellipsis button and the manage option, and then you will need to re-download a new work area for offline work. If you choose to work online, then you need to delete whatever maps are downloaded on the data, on the device. Right now we are back in sync mode. That means we are working with a downloaded map. We are not going to be able to work online until we remove this map. I hope this covered everything that is required for data collection. For more information, please contact Chandreyee Lahiri at DCRGIS 617-626-1325 or on cell at 617-784-0356. Alternately, please contact Eve Galveo or Nathaniel Lloyd at DCRGIS. Thank you.